right. Like, I really think men can't help themselves with cheating. I really think they can love you and cheat, though.
Do you feel like there are no faithful men left?
The ones I like, none.
Yay! Oh my God!
Too many things are going this way. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do that. Even down to my travel, I'm like, ooh, if it's like off, that flight ain't for me, or this ain't for me. Like,
you know, so then that was kind of like a hold up. You know what I'm saying? What's going on here? And
did that make you want to be a rapper more, or make you want to make more money to get it back?
Nah.
When Angela Simmons was asked if she was single, she didn't give a long answer. Just 3 sharp words. Not by choice.
No.
I'm not with him.
No.
Oh. Yeah. Not by choice, but, you know, I respect him.
And that little phrase shook the room. Everyone instantly knew she was hinting at Yo Gotti. What's wild is, not too long ago, he was the one celebrating her like he finally won the prize he'd been chasing for years.
He'd been begging her to be with him for the past 10 years. I want to something with Angela Simmons. I'm talking about every single place he would go. He would be like, y'all know who I want. Y'all know who my dream girl is.
But now the script is flipped. Gotti's out here chasing her again, trying to win her back after that GloRilla drama left him embarrassed in front of everybody. What IG didn't show were the late-night calls, the flashy gifts that didn't fix a thing, and the quiet rumors that had Angela slowly pulling away long before that live stream blew up.
Hey, what's up, y'all? It's your girl, GloRilla, a.k.a. Big Glow, and I'm here to give y'all some dating advice. First of all, if they ain't treating you like royalty, tell them next. Second of all, let them chase you. If they not running, you not winning. And here's a pro tip. Join Tinder Youth and start matching to help your college win a free concert with me. And gonna go all in, sending likes and notes because we can get choosy. The college that goes the hardest will get the W, and hey, you might just find your next partner. Let's get them. Let's go.
And never forget, this whole saga kicked off the moment Yo Gotti put his crush on blast for the world to watch. Let's take it back to 2015, the moment this whole saga really started. That's when Yo Gotti dropped his hit, Down in the DM, and right in the middle of the track, he flat out confessed, I just followed Angela Simmons. Boy, I got a crush on Angela Simmons. He didn't hold back for 1 second. Fans were like, dang, Gotti really said that out loud? He was bold enough to turn his crush into a lyric for the world to hear, and he didn't care who was watching. This wasn't no subtle wink either. He blasted his feelings on wax, put Angela right in the spotlight, and the internet ate it up. It became a whole thing. Gotti chasing Angela like it was his life mission.
And rapper turned music mogul Yo Gotti have quietly gone their separate ways, Brad. They say Angela felt like, honey, she was putting in more effort than she was getting back, honey. Now, they're saying Yo Gotti's schedule was nonstop, studios, business, appearances, and she started y'all feeling like she wasn't a priority. And when a woman don't feel
And let's not forget who Angela was at that time. Reverend Run's daughter, hip-hop royalty, reality TV star, basically untouchable in the culture. And here comes this Memphis rapper, turning a rap bar into a full-blown storyline, hoping it would flip from a fantasy into a real-life romance. But what went down next had everybody stunned. By 2023, this wasn't just whispers or rumors anymore. Angela and Yo Gotti finally went Instagram official. Angela even posted this flawless photo of the two of them together, smiling like a fairy tale with the caption, Yo, all I need. From the outside looking in, it screamed perfect couple goals. Fans were hyped, calling them the grown-up power couple of hip-hop. Like finally we got a mature celebrity relationship that wasn't dipped in drama. But let's be real, Instagram has a funny way of dressing up the truth. Behind those glossy smiles and matching fits, insiders were already whispering that cracks were showing. Word on the street was that Angela started feeling like she was doing all the heavy lifting, while Gotti was just coasting on the image. That picture-perfect love story? Allegedly not as solid as it looked on the feed. One insider spilled that Angela felt like she was giving way more than she was getting back. Yo Gotti's schedule was non-stop, and she started realizing she wasn't high on his priority list. And let's be clear, Angela is not some background plus one. She's a boss in her own right, running fashion lines, pushing fitness brands, and looking for real stability. Not just photo ops and red carpet moments. Meanwhile, Gotti's CMG empire was exploding, and his artist GloRilla had the streets on fire after FNF turned into a massive anthem. She was everywhere, in the studio with him, at the parties, on the stages, always around. At first, people brushed it off as strictly business, but you know how the industry works. Those late nights and constant appearances sparked whispers. Whispers grew into rumors, and rumors don't stay quiet for long. Before anybody knew it, the headlines were practically writing themselves, and Angela was right in the middle of the storm. People started whispering that Gotti was way too close to GloRilla. And then came the bombshell that flipped everything upside down. GloRilla hopped on IG Live and straight up embarrassed him in front of everybody. No filter, no mercy. Suddenly, Gotti's whole image crumbled. Angela gone, the power couple fairy tale shattered, and his reputation taking a hit all at once. Crazy thing is, when you look back, it really started like a dream. A rapper's crush that turned into a real relationship, like some Cinderella story pulled straight out of hip-hop. But now, it's turned into one of the messiest, most public breakups the internet has seen in a long minute. And here's where it gets even shadier. This whole Gotti-GloRilla situation has been loud, even without GloRilla saying too much. Fans online were already side-eyeing everything. First, they noticed Gotti wasn't treating her like just another artist on the label. It was giving way more personal than professional, and people weren't blind to it. No, this man wasn't acting like a CEO just supporting an artist. Gotti was moving like somebody trying to lock something down for real. Who could forget when he popped out for her birthday with that brand new Maybach truck? Yes, a whole Maybach. Not some bouquet of roses, not a little congrats cake. We're talking a $200,000 luxury SUV wrapped up with a giant red bow like it came straight out of a movie scene. Angela jumped on Instagram all smiles, calling him the best, glowing so hard you'd think she just got proposed to. Fans went crazy in the comments, debating if this was love or business, because to them, this was not normal boss artist behavior. It was giving relationship vibes, heavy. And just when everybody thought the noise couldn't get louder, boom, Gotti turned it up again with the Audemars. An 18-karat Audemars Piguet Royal Oak, 60 grand on her wrist, sparkling like a billboard for luxury. And that wasn't just a gift, that was a statement, a flex aimed at the industry, the fans, and anybody watching like, yeah, she's mine, and I can prove it. Woo! But let's be real. You don't just hand out Maybach trucks and diamond-drenched watches unless there's real feelings or real investment behind it. You feel me? Fans started connecting the dots quick, asking themselves if this was really just business or something running way deeper. One person even dropped a comment that summed it all up. Oh, she looks pretty. He buys her the nicest gifts, and he always speaks highly of her in his interviews. And honestly, they weren't lying. Every time Gotti spoke on Angela, he lit up like a proud man bragging about more than just a business partner. His tone, his words, it was giving relationship energy, not label talk. People watching couldn't help but wonder if Gotti was blurring the line between CEO and lover. Anytime Gotti opened his mouth about Angela, it didn't sound like a CEO doing PR. It sounded like a man bragging about the woman he was proud to stand next to. The tone was half, that's my star artist, and half, look at my girl shine, and fans picked up on it instantly. And it wasn't just about showering her with expensive gifts either. Gotti was physically showing up for her. He pulled up at her birthday bash in Memphis and didn't just sit in the crowd. He hit the stage, performed with her, and hyped her like her #1 fan. That wasn't no quiet, behind-the-scenes business move. That was loud, public, and intentional. The kind of energy that made it hard to believe he was only treating her like an artist. Gotti wasn't hiding a thing. He made it crystal clear that he was backing GloRilla in every way possible. And even though Glo never came out swinging at Angela, never threw shade, her presence was loud enough all on its own. She didn't have to say a word, just being around spoke volumes, and people noticed. The whispers started picking up fast. Hold up, if he's doing all this for Glo, then what does that mean for Angela? Because one thing about the industry, actions will always tell the truth louder than any interview or caption. And Yo Gotti's actions? They were getting messier and harder to ignore by the day. Fans weren't blind, and every move was adding fuel to the rumors that Angela was slowly getting pushed out of the spotlight. Everybody was buzzing about Gotti and GloRilla. But meanwhile, Angela was posting something completely different on her IG story. She dropped a line that had people raising eyebrows. I want what wants me, in all areas. What flows, flows. What ghosts, ghosts. That wasn't just a random motivational quote. That was a woman quietly bowing out, sending a message without naming names. It read like, I'm not fighting for a man who's busy showing his loyalty somewhere else. And honestly, that energy spoke louder than any confrontation could. An insider even backed it up, saying Angela isn't the jealous, insecure type. That's just not her style. But don't get it twisted. She's also not naive. She's smart enough to clock red flags, even if they come in the form of rumors floating around. And at this point, those whispers were getting way too loud for her to ignore. At the end of the day, Angela just wanted more reassurance, more of his time, more effort that showed she was a priority. And when the breakup finally hit the fan, with GloRilla clowning Gotti on IG Live and leaving him looking lost, everything suddenly clicked for the fans. All those picture-perfect posts? Just smoke and mirrors hiding a relationship that was already on shaky ground. Now the tables flipped. Gotti's the one scrambling, calling, begging, trying to piece it all back together while the world sat back watching like it was the juiciest reality TV drama out. But here's the gag. The real twist wasn't Gotti looking down bad, it was Angela. Because while he was trying to fix things in public, Angela had already started moving differently behind the scenes, setting the stage for a whole new chapter without it. Silence. That was Angela's weapon of choice. No rants, no messy shade, just calm moves that spoke louder than any clapback ever could. And honestly, sometimes silence cuts deeper than words. If you were waiting for Angela to hop on live and drag Gotti through the dirt, you'd be disappointed, because that's not how she moves. She's not the type to throw subliminals on Instagram or air it out in public just to get attention. Instead, months back, Angela hit everyone with what might have been one of the most graceful gut punches ever. She didn't scream, she didn't beg, she just let her actions speak. And that quiet exit left fans with the message crystal clear. Angela Simmons doesn't chase, she replaces. When Angie slid in that question about her relationship status, Angela didn't flinch. She gave a little smile, paused for a second, and calmly said, "Not by choice, but you know, I respect him." Some stuff is better left unsaid. Again, much love and respect to him. He's doing his thing, I'm happy for him. It was short, it was sweet, but it carried weight. At the time, people called it classy, like the perfect example of how to walk away without burning the whole house down. Others said it sounded like real closure, like Angela had already made peace with the situation while still keeping her dignity intact. That one moment showed she didn't need to drag him, because her calm words said enough all on their own. But now, after GloRilla's viral "I don't need no man" moment and the whispers about Gotti scrambling to win Angela back, her old words hit completely different. Not by choice doesn't sound like a simple answer anymore. It feels like a quiet revelation, like maybe Angela wanted this to work out, and he's the one who fumbled it. And that line, "Some stuff is better left unsaid," suddenly sounds way heavier than it did at first. Fans online started connecting the dots, piecing together that Angela might have known way more than she let on. About GloRilla, about the label drama, about the late night calls and all the shady energy circling around. To the public, it's just messy headlines. But to Angela, it looked like she had already seen it coming from a mile away. Fast forward to now, and insiders swear Gotti's been reaching out behind the scenes, trying to mend what's already broken. But Angela's old interview? It suddenly plays like a warning shot he should have listened to. She walked away with her dignity intact. Never messy, never desperate, and now he's chasing a woman who's already learned to live without him. That calm little mic drop on the Angie Martinez show wasn't just classy. It was final. It was Angela quietly telling the world, "I don't need to drag him. The truth will drag itself." And now, here we are, watching Yo Gotti scramble while Angela sits pretty, unbothered, and stronger than ever. Fans can't stop replaying that moment because it feels less like closure and more like the last word she'll ever need to say. It didn't seem like a big deal back then. But now, after GloRilla publicly dumped Gotti on live, those old clips are resurfacing and fans are putting the puzzle together. And this is where it gets even messier. Blogs are buzzing that Gotti's been trying to slide his way back into Angela's life, sending flowers, making late-night calls, even leaning on mutual friends to patch things up. Some outlets even claim he's been all over her Instagram, liking old posts like the classic "I miss you" move in 2025. And the internet, they are eating it up. A whole wave of fans is clowning him, saying he went from chasing his dream girl to crawling back in pure embarrassment. Meanwhile, others are urging Angela to keep it pushing, calling it nothing but deja vu and warning her not to fall for the same game twice. It's giving nothing more than a desperate ex moment. But of course, the hopeless romantics are still out there rooting for him. They're quick to remind everybody that Gotti spent years chasing Angela, so maybe he deserves a second shot. But no matter how you slice it, the optics are wild. Gotti went from looking like the boss who bagged his dream girl to the guy who fumbled her, and now he's scrambling while his whole thing with GloRilla crashes and burns in public. But here's the real question. Why is Gotti suddenly out here crawling back to Angela? Because this ain't just about love, it's about survival. His empire looks shaky right now. Whispers, and I mean whispers, are swirling about a possible RICO case brewing around his CMG label. Ever since the Young Dolph murder trial started making headlines again, Gotti's name keeps getting dragged into conversations. Nobody in the industry wants their brand tied up in that kind of mess. Nothing's confirmed yet, but you know how it goes. Where there's smoke, there's usually fire, or at least somebody cooking something up behind the scenes. And now flip the script. Imagine being in GloRilla's shoes while all of this chaos is unraveling. GloRilla is one of the hottest new rappers in the game right now. She's got festivals lined up, endorsements rolling in, the spotlight on her heavy. The last thing she needs is to get dragged into some messy legal cloud hanging over her label boss. No surprise she hopped on live, basically saying she's done. It looked like a smart move, a way to protect her bag and distance herself before things explode any further. Angela, on the other hand, is in a whole different lane. She's a mom, a businesswoman, running fitness and fashion brands, building a positive empire that's about health, lifestyle, and growth. Getting tangled in whispers about RICO charges, industry beef, and messy drama, that's not even on her radar. And the way she gracefully bowed out with her calm, respectful statement, it felt like the cleanest exit possible. Her way of saying, I'm steering clear of that chaos. Meanwhile, Gotti looks like he's spiraling. He's single, his public image is cracked, his label's biggest star might be slipping away, and now he's desperate to hold on to Angela. The man who once flaunted finally winning his dream girl is now the same man clawing to keep her as the whole internet watches the downfall unfold like a live soap opera. And here's where it gets real juicy. Word on the street says Gotti has been pulling out every trick in the book to win Angela back. Moves nobody expected from him at all. Sending flowers straight to her doorstep, making long late-night calls that she leaves unanswered, and even trying to arrange private just us sit-downs to talk things through. The internet's laughing, the blogs are buzzing, and fans are asking the one question everybody wants to know. Is Angela even picking up the phone? But here's the twist. Angela's not budging 1 inch. She's been pouring all her energy into her businesses, stacking wins and focusing on raising her son. And if you've been watching her moves lately, you can see it plain as day. She's glowing in a way that screams unbothered. Some whispers even say she might be entertaining new suitors on the low, but whether that's true or not, the message is crystal clear. Angela is not sitting around waiting for Gotti to finally get it together. And that's exactly where everything blew up. GloRilla's fallout with Gotti already made him look shaky. But once the internet clocked Angela refusing to spin the block, it was over. His own artist publicly distancing herself on live? Embarrassing. But his own woman, the one he chased for years, the one he bragged about finally winning, refusing to take him back? That's a double L no man wants stamped on his record. Fans are split right down the middle. Half of them are clowning him like, bro, you're just now realizing what you lost? While others are clinging to hope, praying for a reunion, saying maybe love will pull them back together. But me? I'm not buying it. Angela's energy says she's already closed that chapter. And Gotti's just another man learning too late that some wins don't come twice. This doesn't feel like some sweet romantic movie moment. This feels like a man watching everything crumble right in front of him. His label's wrapped up in whispers, his artist drama is blowing up online, and now he's clinging to Angela because she was the only stable piece he ever had. But here's the kicker. Nobody really knows Angela's next move. She's been ghosting Gotti completely, never said a word about the GloRilla drama. And from the looks of it, she's locked in on her son and her businesses. And sometimes that kind of silence is louder than any statement. If she keeps on ignoring him, we could be staring at one of the most public heartbreaks hip-hop has seen in years. And GloRilla? She's pulled back too, leaving him stuck right in the middle of a storm he created himself. First, he manifested Angela in front of the world like it was a fairy tale. Then, he got clowned in front of millions. And now, he's chasing after someone who already moved on with her life. That whole down in the DM love story he rapped about like it was destiny looks like the last chapter is closing fast. And trust me, the entire hip-hop world is tuned in to see if Gotti can bounce back from such a public downfall, or if this is the L that sticks to his name forever. But one thing is for sure, two things are certain. When love, loyalty, and legacy collide in hip-hop, nothing fades quietly. It's the moves made in silence that decide how people remember the saga. So now I gotta know, what do you think about Angela staying silent while Gotti scrambles? Is this the end of their story for good? Or do you see a twist coming? Drop your thoughts below, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one.